Okay. All right, everyone, welcome to our Breslov Efrat at Charles's Base Medrash. Baruch Hashem, another successful morning. Nates, Baruch Hashem, Haidul Hashem Kitov. Okay, so we're in Hilchas Hashkamas HaBoker and Halacha Daled, and today we're up to letter Yud Daled. We're going to review what we finished off yesterday with, this beautiful idea of Birker Cholim, right? The idea of Birker Cholim. What a beautiful thing it is, what a beautiful mitzvah it is, a Birker Cholim, when someone is not well and you can come to see him and give the person little chiyas. What a beautiful, beautiful mitzvah that is and what it does to help other. Okay. So the Rebbe says today, the main thing is when you go to visit the sick, the main thing is to pay attention and give the person to feel that with the person. The Hainu, Masha b'nei Adam nichnasem etzlai umepatchin ala sakav v'oisin kol tzarchav k'meisha kasab shulchan aruch. In other words, you go there and you take care of whatever he needs. The person needs, if he needs food, if he needs comfort, if he needs chizuk, whatever you do, whatever the chayla needs, you help him with his things, and that's the whole point of the mitzvah Birker Cholim. Right? And he says, you don't just go there and you sit in the corner and you wallow with the person. You're supposed to give the person some chiyas. You're supposed to help the person. You're supposed to give the aras panim. Aras panim. What is aras panim? We kept talking about this idea of aras panim that really comes from the Shalosh Regalim. It's connected to the Shalosh Regalim, the Beis Hamikdash. And the aras panim really, I'd like to say at this point, is where you give the chayla, you explain to him that how the Rebbeinu Shalom is mamish with him in his sickness. You give the chayla sick. You give the chayla some chizuk. That's really what it's all about, and that's really the best way to give aras panim is the chizuk, to understand that the Rebbeinu Shalom is with the person. Like we say in Yosef, we say we end off Imay Anoichi B'Tzara. Imay Anoichi B'Tzara. What does Imay Anoichi B'Tzara means? Hashem says, "I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you in the tzar." So one beautiful tefillah is always when you're saying that, and to think of this is, you say, Rebbeinu Shalom, you're with me in this problem, right? You're here with me in this problem. So if I'm not worthy to get out of this problem, but you're with me in this problem, so for your sake, Rebbeinu Shalom, let's get us both out of this problem. Because why do you have to endure this problem? You understand? In other words, you're with me in this problem, Hashem. So if you could teach the ani, you give the ani some chizuk, that's the most beautiful thing to do. Rak, boyemelav, oisin like tzarchav, umedabrim aliboy. Umedabrim aliboy. Talk in words into the person's heart. Not just talk to the person, but talk to the person. Make him understand that he should maybe talk about tshuva, maybe talk about learn say some tehillim with the ani, something that'll give the person some chiyas. Shekol zeh bechinas aras panim. All of that is this idea of aras panim. What's aras panim? Again, showing the ani that the Rebbeinu Shalom is with you, showing the light, the chola, that Hashem is with you. And that's how you can bring to the ani, to the chayla. That's how you can bring to the chayla. You can bring him this idea of the aras panim shelamala from the Rebbeinu Shalom. You can mamish give the person chiyas. Shemisham ikra chiyas lachiyas is a chayla, because that's where the whole chiyas is, to bring to the chayla. The chayla is sick. So where's the refuah going to come from? We know the Rebbeinu Shalom is the roifei chol basar umafli lasais. It's the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's not the doctors. It's not the medicine. Rabbi Nachman was very much against doctors, very much against medications, right? Because Rabbi Nachman said that the doctors today will tell you, this is very good for you, and the next day they'll tell you, whoa, no, we made a mistake, and that's really not good for you. But wait a second, how many people just... So Rabbi Nachman says, rely on the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's where all the refuahs come from. And that's really what we have to teach the chayla. The bechinas ba'ar pinei melech hayim. Ba'ar pinei melech hayim. The melech hayim is the Rebbeinu Shalom. K'meisha kosa b'Torah now. Okay, now. V'al kein shchina mala L'mal marashasav shel chayla. So we know that whenever there's a chayla, right? So the Shechina is resting on the head of the chayla. Why does the Shechina rest on the head of the chayla? We're going to see now. Right? The pasuk in Tehillim Mem Aleph pasuk Dalet. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is supporting the person al eres devai on his sick bed. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, why? Kol mishkava yafachta, because his whole life was turned upside down. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu, because he can't go to work, he can't do his things, he can't do it. Everything is turned upside down in his life. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll support you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to support you. Because the person is sick, so therefore the Arash Shechina comes upon the Chayla, and the Arash Shechina is what gives the Chayla the chiyus that he needs. Shehu bechinas or hatzadik ha'emes shemashkiach al kol ha'chayla. So we know that the tzaddikim are always involved in the Choyle Yama Yisrael. Like the tzaddikim are always very, very much involved in davening and caring for Klal Yisrael. That's so beautiful how the tzaddikim care about every single yid. Kol mishkavay nehafach b'choyle, because again, everything in their life was transformed and turned into turmoil. Their whole life was turned into turmoil by their sickness.
The major hospitals established by tzaddikim.
By tzaddikim, right?
The hospital, sure. Linyana Hospital.
The other hospital, right?
Which hospital?
In the Tanya.
Saudi
Tzaddik, yeah.
Which he made a name there during the.
Yeah, he made it. If Hashem, he said, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu will save me, I'll work on saving your people. Yeah, unbelievable.
And that hospital is run like no other hospital.
Yeah, there's only from people there. You won't find any Arabs over there. You won't find. It's only from people working in that hospital.
Oh, working in the hospital.
Yeah, working in hospital. Unbelievable,
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Because they're always thinking so deeply. They're mamish engaged in thoughts, wisdom on how they can help the people. That's the main point here. To help them in Gashmias, in their physical body, but the main thing is the Ruchnias, because we know that where do all the sicknesses come from? It comes because the person is spiritually sick in something, and we know that each sickness is connected to some kind of a mitzvah, right? We know that. It really, all of it, because we have in our body, we have 248 limbs, 365 blood organs, right? And that's a 613 mitzvahs, so everything is really connected to the mitzvahs, right? Everything is a mitzvah, right? So if the person has a sickness, could be that thing is because he's not doing this mitzvah right, he's not doing that mitzvah right. So the main thing is to teach the person to do tshuva. There used to be a sefer refuahs, we don't have it anymore, right? They told them, you have like an index. So if a person had this kind of problem, this is what you have to work on. Yeah,
Yeah.
But we don't have these things anymore. But the tzaddikim are working on general, teaching the person to come back to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Find the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's the main point. Bring into the person asagas elikus, understanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. Shivisi Hashem lenegdi summit. Hashem is with you. Don't think you're in this yourself. Don't think you're in this problem by yourself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there. Just ask the Rebbeinu Shalom to help you, because he's the Reifei Chol Basar. And that's the greatness of the tzaddikim, that they are working so much so, like we said a moment ago, to bring healing to the chaylim. But because he's sick and his whole life is in turmoil, therefore the Shechina is resting on the head of his bed. Shehu bechinas ara tzaddik, and look at these words he says now. Ki tzaddikim heim shechinasei shel makom. The tzaddikim are the shechina of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's bringing this down from the Zayin Truma on Daf Kaf Sama Gimel. V'zeh bechinas vayera elav Hashem. What happened to when Avram Avinu when Avram made the bris milah, and it was the third day. So who came to visit Avram? HaKadosh Baruch Hu came himself to be Mevakir Chayla. Unbelievable. HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to be Mevakir Chayla. So you see how that...
Was that the first injury or sickness we had in the Torah?
I don't know. I don't know if it was I don't know. It wasn't an injury. It was procedure. It was the procedure.
It was procedure, but it was, he was not
Yeah.
feeling well.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I mean, it was for a good purpose, but
Unbelievable. It could be. I don't know. That's a very good point. Levakir esachayla. The main point that HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to visit the sick, to visit Avram Avinu. Ki daika machma shu chayla v'tzrichen levakar. Because he's sick, you have to visit him. And we really should, if we hear that people are sick, we should take the opportunity to go visit someone that's sick and give him a little chiyas. It's a beautiful mitzvah. It's such a beautiful mitzvah. And, ask the person if he needs some groceries, if he needs something, the person needs something, bring them, help them out, show them that we care about them. And that's what it means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu came and appeared to Avram Avinu b'chinas hasagas elikush zoichim hacholim ayedei arat tzaddik. It's unbelievable that we're bringing this down from Avram Avinu because we said that really Avram Avinu is the midah of chesed, right? And the whole idea of the midah of chesed is how, because we got off into a tangent now on Birkei Cholim, but really the point is here how to give the teichacha in the proper way, how to keep the gevura in check. And how do you do that? You're always doing that with the chesed of Avram Avinu. You need Avram Avinu, you need the chesed, because anytime you're going to give, that's one more time, anytime you're going to give teichacha to someone, you give someone rebuke, but you have to do it in the way of chesed. You can't do it in the way of gvura. Because if you do it in the way of gvura, it's never going to work. You have to do it always in a pleasing and a nice way. And that's the best way that you can ever do it.
You also have to know that they're going to be willing to accept it as well.
Oh, that's of course. No, that's of course. If you know for certain you're going to tell this guy and he's not going to do it, so it's better that you don't tell him, because then he's doing it a shogeg. It's not amazing. Of course. You have to know your customers. And again, like we said yesterday, it's worthy to say again. The Baal Shem Tov taught that if you see something and somebody else is doing something wrong, the only way you could see it is because the person has that same problem. So if you think about it that way, Yosef, if you think about it that way, wait a minute, I just saw him do this, and really, I have to be easy on myself here. I have to give myself mussar. So when you tell this other guy, you have to do it in a certain way, because again, I'm really connected to this problem as well. An unbelievable idea. Chanukah Purim. Unbelievable. See that? We go from the Birkei Cholim, now we're going back to Chanukah Purim. Yeah. You want to say something, Sasha?
Just want to mention.
Please.
Saying like when the someone is corded, so we come to him and give him our panim.
Yeah.
Explain him about
very
fine line. I've learned that before. Also, like when someone is in physical pain, I can't really come and start telling him there's like Hashem all around that, because he's physically suffering. He's not gonna listen to. So first of all, I need to take care of his physical.
That's what he said first. You come in, you talk to the person, and you bring him things.
What can I do?
And again, but again, once you come in, if you bring the person some fresh fruits and you bring him some nice things, so right away the person feels nice, and he feels that you want to help him. So then whatever you say will come out much easier also, because again, he feels that you're connected to him because you just gave him something. So he has hakaras hatov that you just brought something. So if you say something, you'll be more likely. And that's why we started off by saying, you want to say something?
The whole idea of the gmachim that we have first of all, we take care of person's physical
needs, and then we can work on it.
More or less, and then
But that's why he said the gashmias uber ruchnias. The gashmias was first. You take care first the gashmias, and through the gashmias, then you can get to the ruchnias. And again, you do it in a very subtle way. But if you can explain to the other, like I use the thing, that don't think that you hear yourself. Hashem is with you. You don't tell the guy what you say. First you tell him that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. Don't think you're here by yourself. And we all care about you, and all Klal Yisrael is davening for you. And we all care about you. So then by doing that already, so the chayla will feel a little bit better. You agree, David? You want to say something?
Because they say it takes 1/60th of his illness away when you visit.
Suffering.
When you visit him, yeah.
You're visiting him, unless you do it wrong, I guess. But
Oh, listen, but listen, David. The main thing is, like we're saying, is to come in there and show care.
Right.
That's the main thing, is to show care. Don't just go in there and just sit in the corner, like we said. That's not the way to do it. And to go hide yourself there. But I'm here. I'm visiting the sick. That's not the point. The whole point is to engage with the what?
Scrolling on the phone.
Or whatever. Yeah, listen. Today it's on the phone, right? Hey, the guy's answering his email, sitting there with the chayla is answering. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe send the chayla on his phone a little smiley message or something. You know? I don't know. Okay, let's go back. Okay, v'zeh bechinas Chanukah Purim sheheim bechinas mitzvahs bikar chayla. The whole idea of Chanukah and Purim is the mitzvah bikar chayla. Wow, come on. We're going to explain. He's going to explain. Don't worry. Now, this is, again, I keep trying to explain to you. Rav Nosson is going to say, so a guy's going to say, but Bikkur Cholim, I don't know, to me, I don't have the patience, I can't. But do you know that Bikkur Cholim is Chanukah and Purim? Do you know that Bikkur Cholim is Chanukah and Purim? You're going to tell me you don't like Chanukah and Purim? Now let's see how it's Chanukah and Purim. Kihem Yavim Kedoshim V'Toivim Mi'oid V'Afal Pichein Heim B'Yemei Achol. Interesting, right? We're talking about the Aras Panim. We're learning about that. When was Aras Panim? It was on the Shalosh Regalim. That's when we got the Aras Panim. We saw from when we went to be Oila Rega, we went up to the Beis Hamikdash. We saw the greatness. We saw the Rebbeinu Shalom's presence. But that's always during a Chag. That's during the Shalosh Regalim. But here, there's something unique where Chanukah and Purim are weekday holidays. Right? They're weekday holidays. There's no, you can do whatever work you have to do. There's no Issa Malacha. Right? Let's let the Rebbe say. I don't have to say. Ki eina masurim malacha, v'heim bechinas bechinas ha'aretz hasagas alikus ala chaylim b'yoser. It's bringing it on the chayla. But we're talking about here. There's an actual chayla, and then there's also a chayla that's someone that's spiritually sick. Right? We have two kinds of. There's a chayla that's physically sick, but then there's a person that's spiritually ill. What's a person that's spiritually ill? He's not involved in Torah mitzvahs, right? And we're not talking about necessarily.
Most of those that are spiritually ill don't even know that they're spiritually ill.
That's the hastara shebesoich hastara, right? Right? That's a hastara shebesoich hastara. So one hastara is when a person knows what he's searching for and he knows what the thing is. But hastara shebesoich hastara, he has no idea what it is. He has no idea why he's going through what he's going through. Chas v'shalom. B'yosef ayidei goydel koyach hatzadik sheyochel laseis kelim v'tzimtzumim nifloyim kelim. So we were learning till now on how great the tzaddikim are, because the tzaddikim have such a high level. But the tzaddik is able to be mitzamtzem. He's able to constrict and to hold back what he knows and only give out the words that he can. The same like you were saying, Sasha, like this. When you go to the chayla, you have to be mitzamtzem. What you're going to say, you have to use tzimtzum. In other words, I can't say everything I want. I have to use the words that'll help the chayla. That'll bring him healing. That'll bring him to that right place. If a person is sick, healthy, so the king is not going to come visit him. The king doesn't come visit healthy people. But look at this. But if someone wants to come see the king and enjoy the light of the king, to see the king, who tzarich lenakos uletar atzma yafa lekashet atzma karoi. So this person, you can't just walk into the king. You have to first go take a shower, take a haircut. You have to get yourself cleaned up, get yourself ready, wear a nice suit. You can't go in there, wearing your dungarees and get to go see the king. You have to lekashet atzma karoi. You have to stay by the king's door. You have to, beg your way in. You have to get permission to come into the king. Okay, so in other words, if a person is well, if a person is well and he wants to come to see the king, so he has to prepare himself to see the king, right? He can't just walk in, right? And he has to beg the guards to let him in to see the king, right? And according to his level, it'll be where it'll be. If they let him into the chutzner, the courtyard of the king, or to his private room, wherever the king is, wherever they'll let him in, according to the way he's prepared. In other words, the person prepares himself very good. So then he looks really, really important. He's coming in, wow. So then they'll let him in to the gun. Otherwise, they'll just let him into the chutzner. They'll let him into the courtyard. To give to get a view of the king and to see the light of the king. But if one of the king's people, one of the king's entourage, his people that are close to the king is sick, that's what we're talking about, Klal Yisrael, right? If one of us is not doing well, so what happens then? So then the king feels that one of his people isn't doing well, so the king feels hakaras hatayv that he's always helping him out. So the king goes over to the chayla. He feels incumbent upon himself to go to the person, to help the person, because this person is always protecting him and always doing things for him. So he feels it. And that's what it means why the Shekhinah comes to be on the head of the sick person, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees that this Yid is always doing what I'm supposed to do. He's always doing what his mitzvahs, and he causes me so much beautiful enjoyment in Shemayim. We have no idea every time we do a mitzvah what's going on in Shemayim. There are bells and whistles going off in Shemayim. It's unbelievable. They're so happy that we're doing our mitzvah. They're so happy. So again, that's because we have the Sarusa de Lasata, like you brought in Yeshia before, David, right? You have the Sarusa de Lasata. What's that? That's the awakening from down here. When we are awakened, we do something, a mitzvah down here. So then it causes the Sarusa de La'ela. HaKadosh Baruch Hu feels, wow, you gave me such delight, I'm going to give you now. And it's rhetorical, right? As I do something for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And again, I'm not doing that because I want to get something, but that's just l'maisa how it works. When I do my mitzvahs and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, HaKadosh Baruch Hu feels He's going to give us.
That's I need a rosy.
We
learned with Breslov yesterday the Maimer
It's all connected. Yeah. It's all one Torah, and that's the most beautiful thing when you see everything is connected. How it's connected. Okay, Chanukah Purim. Shehem Moedim Kedoshim Shenidnu Lanu La'achiyasenu Ki Yoim Hazeh B'Yemei HaGolus Hamar. Right. So Chazal instituted these two holidays, right? The two holidays that we were able to survive in this bitter Golus that we're in. We need something. We need something to jolt us, to give us a jolt, to keep us going. And these two things were Chanukah and Purim. And again, this is why it's Birkei Cholim, Shachar is connected to, because again, we feel like we're spiritually sick, and we get the Yom Tov, the Yom Tov of Purim, the Yom Tov of Chanukah comes in, and there's certainly during the week, Dafka during the week, and then okay, so now it says
they're also the time of the year when there's nothing else,
nothing else going on.
The dead of the winter.
The dead of the winter, right? When it's really depressing.
And the other one is there's nothing around it. Purim.
Well, 30 days before that is Tu B'Shvat.
30 days after
you have Tu B'Shvat, and 30 days after that's Pesach. It's sandwiched right in the middle.
But it's
I understand.
Yeah.
It's kind of alone. That's right. K'may shekosa b'zayir kadosh b'chinas samcheni b'shishes rabduni b'tapuchim ki choyles ahava ani. So what is that? In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to clothe me with things and with the apples in the apple orchard. Ki choyles ahava ani. This is the words from Shir HaShirim. Umi'oitzem chaleinu. Hakove, because of our deep sickness. Ein lanu yecholim la'aleis alareis l'shtachveis lefana b'sholish pamei ragleinu, like we say in the Musaf on the Shalosh Regalim, right? Because of our sins, saying no, we were pushed away, we're sent away. Lichmes lebeis hayakodesh, shua beis hamikdash lekabala upon it. We don't have that. We don't. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Ki mipnei chateinu galina me'atzeinu v'scharachnu. We were pushed away. Okay. She'ein onu yecholim. We're not able to come up. Al kein chamal aleinu balarachamim. And therefore the Balarachim, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he had compassion and he had mercy on us. Barachim avatzumsum v'hoisif lanu shnei hayamim hakedoshim ha'elu sheheim Chanukah Purim. He gave us these holidays, these two wonderful holidays, which is Chanukah and Purim. Shetiknu lanu atzadikim hagedolim, that the great tzadikim established for us. Shehem anshe knesses hagedolah, the great assembly, right? Anshe knesses hagedolah. How do you translate that? The members of the great assembly. Okay, there we go. I love that. Yeah, Anshe knesses. What?
Thank you, Arts Pro.
Okay, what?
Thank you, Oscar.
In order to bring the Ar Apanim into our houses. So normally we had to go up. We had to be Oila Regel to go to the Rabbeinu Shalom. We had to go make the effort to travel to go there. But here HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to us in our homes. On Purim, he comes to us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to us on Chanukah. Unbelievable. In the midst of our gullus, the midst of the exile, that each one can merit on the Yom Tov of Chanukah to light their candles. That is the idea of the Ar Apanim. And the whole idea of the Chanukah is to look at them. Right? What is the whole idea of the Chanukah? To sit there and look at the candles. You see the Ar Apanim, you can see everything in the lights of the candles. Everything.
The first half hour.
First, you're supposed to sit.
All ganuz, right?
That's the Ar Apanim. Yes, you're supposed to sit there and look at that. That's mamish the Ar Apanim, that we are able to alight ourselves. That's the beautiful mitzvah. And we get that in our homes. Bechinas lahatzil panim mishamen. Lahatzil panim mishamen. Unbelievable. To save the lahatzil panim from the oil. You get it to hatzola. You get this salvation. You get this saving from where? From the shemen. Shazel bechinas hasagas elikus.
That's a
What?
Tahala.
Lahatzil.
That's heal.
Yeah.
That's heal is saving.
To save.
That's the same thing.
That's saving. That's heal.
That's heal. That's heal is to be saved, maybe.
To be saved. It's the same. It's a word of saving. It's a word of saving. It's a word of saving. Mishemin from the oil. Hasagas elikus. Now the Rebbe says
The hot heel is Lashon Simcha.
Yeah.
Simcha. Okay.
Not saving. My daughter's name is
Yeah,
Tzahava.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Took you longer than it should.
But the simcha will save you. It's the same idea.
Tahala verina.
It's to bring to well the whole idea is to bring the simcha.
Yeah, thank you.
What?
To make happy.
To make happy, fine. Okay, so it's the same idea. So the person to be saved with the simcha because of the oil. It's from the oil. Unbelievable. V'chein b'Purim kol echad mamshech al atzmai b'chinas kabbalas hatayra. On Purim is the whole idea is kabbalas hatayra. Shemekablim oz b'chol shana b'taykev agalas b'chinas kimu v'kiblu. Kimu v'kiblu. What we kimu, we accept what we already accepted. So it's a rededication of the Torah. We know that on Shavuos we have the Torah Shebiksav, but Purim is the Torah Shebal Peh. That's what Kimu B'Kiblu is. In other words, we always accepted Torah Shebiksav. That was we got, but the problem always was the Torah Shebal Peh. But on Purim we recognize that really we saw how everything was in the hiding. Right, the whole thing, the whole nace of Purim was done biskasi. It was always in hiding. You don't see Hashem's name anywhere. You don't see it, but we felt it. We mamish felt it, and then we saw the beauty.
Yeah, it's from the
And then we saw the beauty from the deepest parts of the hidden Torah. And therefore, Chanukah and Purim are like the legs that support. They're like the legs that support. And he says over here, Kiheim bechinas netzach choid, sheim bechinas raglin keyadua. So we know that Chanukah and Purim are the netzach and the hoid. Netzach and the hoid are the right leg and the left leg. Netzach is the right leg and okay.
Which is which?
What?
One is one.
Netzach and hoid.
What is the left? One is Chanukah, one is Purim.
Yeah, that's what he's saying here. Kein bechinas netzach v'hoy, shein bechinas raglin, ki yadua tikunei zoya hakdama. Okay, now. V'zeu bechinas mitzvahs bikar chaylim sha mitzvah b'raglin. The whole mitzvah of bikar chaylim is you go with your feet. You go visit the chaylim. You got to go. You have to go. Look how he's connecting all of these things. Hainu bechinas hanal Hashem Yisbarach marachem aleinu v'haylech levarkeinu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu goes and Hakadosh Baruch Hu visits us. Umeyalon panav, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives us He gives us His ar panav. Hakadoshim b'toykif galaseinu. Shanu chaylim keila kasher yadeya kol echad b'nafshay. As everyone knows on ourselves, everyone knows their shortcomings. Everyone knows what their shortcomings is. But then when the days come of Chanukah and Purim come, and we realize that, and we feel how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me, it brings a person, of course, to tshuva, and tshuva is the antidote to anything that's going wrong. Rabbi Nachman says, we say the Mizmor L'Soidu Hashem, Ivdu Es Hashem B'Simcha, right? Ivdu Es Hashem B'Simcha, right? We say it every morning, right after Baruch Shama, right? So Rabbi Nachman says, but what do you mean, Ivdu Es Hashem B'Simcha? What happens? He says, let's say today the chickens didn't give the eggs, I didn't get milk today, it's not going so good. So he says, you know what, you have to look at the next part of the pasuk. What's that? Ivdu Hashem Bayu L'Fana B'Renana. Come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu Rina. What's Rina? Rina is a song. It's a song, but it's a serious song. It's a song of tshuva. That's the song of tshuva. Because Rabbi Nachman says, really, why didn't you get why didn't the chicken giving your eggs? Why didn't you get your milk? Or whatever it is today. Whatever it's to say, we could translate it to whatever we want. Because I obviously I did something wrong. But if I come to the Rebbeinu Shalom with tshuva, that's what David HaMelech is teaching us. Bayu lefana b'renana. Start a nice niggun. Think about what's going on. Come back to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and of course everything will get fixed. Because it's only every time we're lacking anything, it's only because the Gemara says that if you put your hand in your pocket and you want a mabei, you want a certain coin, and you get the other one. It says you have to go check your actions. Why do you have to go check your actions? What?
It's a type of Isur.
It's an Isur. No, but that's the point. If you recognize that that's an Isur, and you stop right then and there, and you make tshuva right then and there, so you can prevent whatever chas v'sholom will come later. Because unfortunately, if the person doesn't get the message from that, Hashem sends him another thing and another thing because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to come back to tshuva. All right? Okay. Uberachmed Bakene Mechai Oisan Bar Panav Gedashim. V'Hadei Kedushas Hayamim HaKedashim Eilu Nasan Lanu Sheim Chanukah Purim Sheim Moedim Kedashim B'Yemei Achol Sheim Bechinas Yemei HaGolus, the days of the Golus. That's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu specifically, the Chazal instituted these holidays specifically in the days of Golus. Sha'az Ein Banu Koyach. We don't have the Koyach La'alais Elav Lebeis HaMikdash L'Kabel Meyar Panim. As the HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees, we don't have what it takes. We can't come. There's no Beis HaMikdash. We have that stupid building standing over there. They don't let us go there anyway. There's such problem. We can't do that. Raku Yisbarach Mamshech Lanu Ara Panim L'Soich Beiseinu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the Ara Panim in our houses. Look how good HaKadosh Baruch Hu is to us. He gives us the holiday where we can't go to see Him, so He'll come to see us. Like the example we gave to the king. Right, so when you come to that, like the example that we just said before, right? The person wants to come to the king, so based on how he prepared himself, he can get closer and closer to the king. But then, if one of the king's constituents is not doing well, so the king comes to him. So that's how we are now. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees that we're trying in the Golus Hamar, but we're trying to come closer to Him. We're doing whatever mitzvahs we can do, and we know that every single yid is full of mitzvahs like kerimain, like a pomegranate. The only problem is with a pomegranate is they're disjointed, right? You have all of those veins in between, right? What does it mean, mitzvahs kerimain? You're full of mitzvahs. The mitzvahs are not connected. They're not connected. There's separations in there. But they have mitzvahs. Either way, they're still mitzvahs. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to help us, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the arpanim, and via doing that, it can bring the person back, and that's all HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to do tshuva and come back to him. That's what the HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to do tshuva. And that's the whole point of the limud, to recognize how HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give us his arpanim. And we just have to always know to come back to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Shem oiskim b'tikunenu, that they were oisik in the tikkun, shehem mishtadlim b'yoyse lahachiyos hachoylim b'yoyse. That's the tzaddikim. They're working on to help back the choyle. They're working so much to do that. And now we just finished this section over here. We're going to start the next one, Tezvav. So I don't know if we should continue. Do we have time to continue?
He's walking now with Yossi.
Okay, very good. So everyone, shkoyach. Have a wonderful day.